say it today, but some of your colleagues in the Republican Party are complaining about this is going to explode debt, this is going to explode deficits. And I want to put up what the Republican record is on those. During the Trump presidency, even before the pandemic, the national debt increased by more than $3 trillion. And in 2017, every Republican in the Senate, including you, voted for the big Trump tax cuts, which cut revenue by almost $1.5 trillion. So I guess the question is, when I hear, for instance, Mitch McConnell talking now about, well, debt and deficits, hasn't the Republican Party, haven't you lost your credibility on this issue?
Well, I don't think anybody has a very good record for the last decade on this. I think the deficit under the Obama years and the Trump years are very similar. The tax cuts, however, in real revenue produced more revenue. In static revenue, they wouldn't, because you couldn't anticipate the kind of growth we had. And remember, after the pandemic did occur, we did five. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but five bipartisan bills trying to be sure we stabilize this economy so we'd have a stable economy that would pay that debt off as we came out of COVID. Now we've seen one incredibly partisan bill from the new administration, followed by what it appears to be will be another incredibly partisan bill. You can't spread that blame around if you decide you're going to do it all by yourself.
Well, yes, I suppose that's true. I just want to make it clear. When I talked about the increase in debt during the Trump years, I did it purposely before the pandemic started. Senator Blunt, thank you. Thanks for coming in this Easter Sunday.
When Senator Roy Blunt started off by saying that no one has a very good record over the last decade over deficits and debt, I thought he is going to share some hard-hitting numbers after that. But that was the highest point for the senator, as his response quickly went south after that. Deficit under Obama years and Trump years are similar. That's what he said. Yeah, it might be if you start believing 4 is equal to 8. But you know why Blunt is saying that? By the end of the final year, budget deficits under Obama years were 6.7 trillion compared to Trump's 6.6 trillion. So it's similar. Yes, in a world where 8 is equal to 4. Barack Obama was president for 8 years. Trump was president for only 4. The US government makes less money than it spends, so naturally there is going to be deficit. But Trump was adding to the deficit nearly at twice the rate as Obama did. Unbelievable, some of these guys are. And then, the best part of the interview was when Senator Blunt said this.
Because you couldn't anticipate the kind of growth we had.
We couldn't anticipate growth. So why was he quiet when the former guy said the tax cuts will supercharge economic growth? They couldn't anticipate growth, but they somehow knew that the economy will grow so fast and it will pay for itself, the tax cut. The only thing the Republican tax cut supercharged was corporate share buybacks. Other than that, the promised economic growth never arrived, and as a result, the US government was collecting less in taxes but spending more, and the deficits grew. Only in the GOP School of Mathematics and Science, deficit in Obama years and Trump years will be similar, because hey, that might be the only institute in the world where 8 can sometimes be equal to 4. Corporate tax revenue fell from $323 billion in 2016 to $211 billion in 2020. The US has been riding on the backs of honest tax-paying middle-class men and women for many years, and it still does even to this day. So I am not able to blame Chris Wallace for bursting out into laughter after Senator Blunt finished the interview saying that the blame cannot be shared if the bill passes through with a partisan vote. Yes, Mr. Blunt, the blame can never be shared if you pass a bill on a partisan basis. So please, own up the after effects of your tax cut. It did not lead to economic growth. It did not pay for itself. And the debt and deficit of the country blew up under your watch. Own it and learn to live with it, because you will never be able to run away from it. And let the Democrats own everything that comes after the infrastructure bill is passed. Just tell your colleagues to not claim credit for the bill after voting against it, just like how some did after the COVID relief bill. Thanks for watching. If you like it, please do subscribe.